Hi, and welcome to the Raise Your Vibe and Thrive podcast with me, your host, Jackie Frith. And today I'm interviewing the amazing Jayne Spenceley. Hi, Jayne.
Hi, Jackie.
How are you doing?
And viewers, I'm really good, thank you.
Good, good, good. And we're talking about the healing and spiritual properties of cacao. And I've just been told how to pronounce it because I've always said cacao. All these years I've been like, cacao. Came on your ceremony last year, cacao ceremony I've been on. And it's actually cacao. So it's spelled Cacao, but pronounced cacao. So thank you for correcting me in how you're supposed to say it. So Jayne is a cacao import. You'll have to pick me up on this because I'll keep reverting back to cacao.
That's
I know I will.
okay. Look,
Yeah.
there's plenty of words I can't say, so
Yeah. No worries.
don't worry. Everybody knows what you're talking about.
Yeah. So you're a cacao importer, a medicine carrier, and a ceremonist. Now, did we actually find out whether that was a word or not? Because I know
I
you did
didn't Google it. I don't know.
Well,
Ceremonialist. I
you
really
know
don't know
what?
if it's a word,
We've made it a
but
word.
it is now.
We've made it a word. Exactly.
Yeah.
We can just make words up. And you've always been into wellness and fitness, taught meditation, and always been engaged in spirituality. And then,
Definitely.
and this is the bit that we're going to really sort of want to talk about in great detail. So January 2020, I had a huge awakening through cacao.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, you've taken the shamanic path and trained with Andean shamanic tradition and the Mayan cacao lineage, which just sounds amazing. So let's just get straight into it, Jayne. How did it all start? How did you get onto your cacao journey?
Well, I didn't choose cacao. Cacao chose me. Now, I was familiar with it because we used to go down to a retreat centre in Lavenham, the Inner Guidance Centre,
Okay.
and they used to deal with cacao there. So that was where I first had it, and we'd always have cups of cacao before we did the meditations. So I, I don't know, 2015 or something like that. But I was a sporadic user.
Okay.
I'd always have some in my cupboard. And I tended to use it just to relax or to deepen meditation. And that's how I knew it. And I tended to use it more in winter, which strangely enough, I see a lot of people doing that
Yeah, because
now.
it's a warming kind of
Yeah.
drink, isn't it? Yeah.
Um, so that's where I was with the cacao. Uh, Now, as you know, I used to run, I called them workshops, now they're ceremonies, but they
Yeah.
were workshops.
Yeah.
And they were kind of meditation based. We'd have a theme. I used to do them every couple of months. And Christmas 2019, we were going off and doing Christmas, and I put out my workshop for January. My partner Paul had said, "You know what? Why don't you use cacao in your next one?" And it was strange because I had that thought
Right.
because I
Okay.
like to change them up a bit.
Yeah.
And I'd thought about it, and I thought, you know what? I feel I know enough to be able to do that. I'm comfortable with that. Yes, I will. So I'd already put it out. I was going to use cacao,
Mm.
and I could have just used my own block that I had in the cupboard, and we went off to Devon at Christmas, and my friend was hosting a plant medicine retreat down there, and I was teaching some meditation for her, and she'd just been to either Peru or Guatemala, and she brought me a block um, back. So I did that, and we travelled back up to Sheffield first week in January. And as I say, like everybody, I'd just done Christmas, 3 weeks doing whatever you do at Christmas, but you're
Yeah.
not focused on your health and your wellness as much, are you? Let's face it.
Not
And I
really.
remember thinking, oh, I need to get back to my healthy lifestyle. Starting to feel a bit, yucky now.
Mm.
I'll start tomorrow. That was what was in my head. Went to bed. It was Friday night, and I remember the date, Friday the 4th of January, pretty sure. It's definitely that first week. And the next morning, I woke up on a Saturday morning at 6 a.m. in a very odd way, like ping, like that. Eyes open, wide awake. I felt energy. And I thought, oh, that's odd. Normally, if I woke up that early, I'd chill in bed with a coffee. But I thought, what's this energy? What am I going to do with it? I can't even sit down and chill. And then I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll get up and I'll put together that ceremony because it was for about the 20th of January or something.
Mm.
It was all in my head. I knew what I was doing, but it was all in parts in my head. And I thought, the ceremony always is done for me before the ceremony. I didn't know that then, but I do now. So
Okay.
I thought, I will get up, I'll make the cacao, and I will almost act out that ceremony. So I'll write it down just so it's structured and not bitty.
Mm.
So I started to make my drink and put on my medicine music, and I was really enjoying myself. And then I was thinking about the theme, and I got made my drink, and I thought, I just knew, nobody had ever told me this actually, that I needed to really honor the sky, the earth, heart. And I just remember holding my cup up to the sky, getting down on the floor, putting the cup on
Oh,
the
yeah.
floor, and then bringing it to my own heart and knowing which song to play. And then I drank the cacao. And then it happened. And it was just like an explosion of the heart. I knew it was a heart opening medicine, but not like that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like my heart blew open, and oh, this gush of all I can describe it as is like love came flying back in. And then all I can call it, and I do now, is the plant spirit started to have a dialogue with me. And I started to talk
Wow.
back. And
Wow.
this is what it said. So I'll have to tell you this. I sort of did. I told you that I have been thinking I need to get back to my healthy lifestyle. 3 weeks of this, I need to get back to it.
Mm.
What I forgot to tell you was this was about a week later, actually, maybe a few days later. And every day that I'd tried to go back to it, like I'm gonna like get back on the healthy eating, do some exercise. It was like I couldn't remember how to do it. And I thought, huh? And I thought, oh well, I can't be ready today. I'll do it tomorrow. Still couldn't remember. By day 3, I thought, this is bonkers. I wasn't worried, I was quite amused because it was like if you imagine that you go to work or school the same route every day for 3 years and then you have a holiday, you don't just forget, do you,
No.
how you walk there or drive there? Of course you don't. So I wasn't worried. It was just really odd. So I'd thought, start next week then, I suppose. And this is where that Saturday fell a few days later before that next week happened. And the first thing that plant spirit said to me was, you can't remember how you used to live because you're not meant to. And I knew exactly what it meant because of this. And I said, what? I didn't even question it. I just talked back, as you do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So like, I said, what? What do you mean? That's crazy. I can't remember why. What do you mean? And what was said to me was, we are in a whole new energy now, a completely new energy. And you are not meant to remember how you used to live because you're not going back there. What? You can do what you used to do before, but there is no same old anymore. If you do the same old, it has to be infused with this new energy. We are all in this new energy. And I'm like, and I just didn't question it because what was happening was
Yeah.
real.
So was this, so when you were saying obviously the plant spirit spoke to you, was
It
this,
was telepathic.
so it was inside your head, it was, you didn't hear the voices externally, it was kind of coming
Well,
into
I
your
did,
head.
but I didn't hear it from my ear. It was definitely not in me.
Yeah.
So maybe I did, but I couldn't. It wasn't like a person's voice,
Yeah.
you know. Um, but I knew I was having a conversation with something other than myself, you know. But it kept blasting me with these energies of love in the heart every, like, few
Yeah.
sentences, and then he said, "You have to slow down. You all have to slow down." I'm like, "What do you mean?" So you have to slow down how you live, you have to slow down how you work, you have to slow down even how you move, you have to slow down everything, all of you. And I'm like, what? That didn't make much sense to me, especially in January,
Yeah.
you know. And what else? Why it kept going on about this new energy, and then it told me, now you bear in mind this was January 2020.
Mm.
You are all going to be made to slow down,
Slow
whether you
down.
like it or not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, I had no idea what was coming, and it seemed a bit crazy to me, but I went with it because it started to talk about guilt, a lot of guilt in this society, like, and how we've got it all so wrong, and there was a big theme on guilt and how we don't let ourselves rest and too busy and all that kind of stuff. But the
Mm.
main thing in it, that was the guilt of this society, the West. Um, but he kept blasting me and blasting me with love all the time. So hey, it's amazing, you know. And then it told me that I had to share that message. And I got uncomfortable. I went, oh no, I can't do that. I'm sorry. It's January. I'm going back to teaching the gyms, and I can't be going in telling people, you've all got to slow down. They'll all laugh at me. And we do the opposite in January. We have to be motivated, and that's what people need from me. I need to tell them to be motivated, and we have to get on it, you know. No, no. But it didn't speak to me then. It activated something in my body. And there are no words for this, but I can describe it pretty well. I felt a divine loop, and it was coming from above, coming down the top of my head, through my body, down my feet, into the earth, and back up and around. It was like this big divine loop coming down through me to the
Wow.
earth round.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh. And then I felt this almighty, like, boom, like a cut, like a knife, right in solar plexus. And it was just like, boom. So it didn't talk.
Mhm.
It showed me in this embodiment.
Yeah.
And I immediately understood that what I was actually receiving was divine wisdom.
Wow.
And it's not mine to keep. And if I felt what happened if I did, I didn't want to feel that. And also, then I understood that something here was so much bigger than me. It really didn't matter how I felt about it because you can't do that. It was this sacred reciprocity. I immediately understood that if you receive any form of divine wisdom, you have a responsibility to share it. It's not yours to keep. So I did not have any argument with that because I literally felt that in my body. And I just went, okay. At that moment, my partner came downstairs. It was now about 8:30. He was going off to play sword fighting with his martial arts. I was there on the kitchen floor, like, oh my God, you won't believe this, cow. What's just happened to me? All this weird stuff's about. Oh my God, you've got to try it. Oh God, because I did feel amazing because I was
Yeah.
being blasted with
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
right in my heart the entire time. He just looked at me like I was crazy, but he never questioned it because he could see something that he could not explain or question. So I said, you've got to have some of this. So I gave him some, and he drank some. He went, yeah, nice, bye. He did not, didn't do it to him, but it was still going on. And
Yeah.
then it was straight back as soon as he left. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it, but I don't know how to do it. And I said, I'm not saying that I've spoken to a chocolate plant spirit. I just can't do that. And there was nothing when I said that. So I knew it was okay. Okay, I don't have to say what I've experienced
Yeah.
here. That's
Yeah.
just gonna
Yeah.
sound too off the wall. Um, and I understood it was just the message, just the message. And I thought, well, how do I share it? And I thought, right, I'm just going to put it on Facebook then, tell everyone they need to slow down. You know, I'll put it on my personal Facebook. That's all I can do. That's all I can think of. Nothing. I didn't get anything. So I thought, okay, I'll do it. So I did. And I finished the post, press post, and then I said, oh, that feels so uncomfortable. Everyone in my industry is just, I'm just, it's going to look really weird. I'm not going to look at that again. And nothing came to me, but I was still getting these blasts of love. And then I went, I really need to go do something normal. I said, I'm going to go to Morrison's. That's when I discovered if ever you have like this mind blowing out of body experience, I always tell people to do this, go to Woodseats in Morrison's. Go to Morrison's in
It was
Woodseats.
the
That, I've done it 3 times since. It must be on a ley line. It just goes, boom, it brings you just it grounding.
grounding, yeah.
But it's that brand, it's that one in Woodseats, no other.
No others, right? Okay.
So not that I've discovered yet, but so I went shopping. I came back, put the food down, and my phone went ping, 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 ping. I thought, oh, what's that? This has never happened before. It's never happened since. I looked at my phone, and all these email notices had come through from it was eJunkie I was using at the time, to for the workshops
Okay.
for people to book
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was all these emails, notification had come through, and all these people have booked on that
Wow.
workshop. It had sold out, but it was so weird because they all did it exactly at the same time. I didn't know them either. I didn't know who they were. They were not names I recognised.
Goodness.
And
Wow.
I thought,
I've
oh,
just
that
got
has
all goosebumpy.
never ever happened since. And I just went, what? And I saw it in my eye. I saw something wink at me like that and go, that's how it works. And I don't know what that is, but I
Mm.
do, but I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense. But that was sacred reciprocity. That's where I first understood it. That was the receiving, the giving, the bring.
Yeah.
So there you go. And then we decided after that, I would never ever have been able to do this without Paul, my boyfriend, because he pushed me. He
Mm.
said, don't go buying anyone else's. We'll import. And I'm like, are you having a laugh? You're like, do you know the work involved in that? And like, I was adamant that it had to, of course, it had to be like sacred. We could not just, so we had to do tons and tons and tons
Of
of work.
research.
He did all the boring stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and so obviously you have to get loads of the stuff when you do that. I was so overwhelmed. But in March, we all know what happened. Lockdown. That then
Mm.
happened. And for me, on a personal and professional level, the rug was pulled from under my feet.
Yeah.
Friday night, I had
Know that
income.
well.
Monday, I didn't know because,
Yeah.
like many self-employed people,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And anyway, because obviously I opened the door then. Once that door's open, I don't have communication like that all the time, only when it's really necessary.
Mm.
I get little ones all the time. But at that time, around that time, in lockdown, I had a cup of cacao. I always speak to it, you know, because that's when it comes to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had my cup of cacao in my hand, and I was like, look, we were all ready. We'd done it all. We knew how to do it. Everything was sort of sorted apart from the actual, you know, this was before Brexit.
Of course. Yeah.
I don't think it would have been possible if I hadn't done it that year with Brexit before, you know.
Yeah.
So I spoke to Cacao, said, look, I know we were all ready to go ahead, but look what's happened. I've got no income. So I can't do it now, but it'll have to be done later on some point when things go back to normal. Did I really say that? Something like that. But when things settle, you know. And then I drank cacao, and it came to me then in my ear again. And do you know what it said? Take the 3-month mortgage break and import me anyway. So I bloody well did.
Good
And that
advice.
was crazy. Crazy. God, have you any income? Go and spend all this money, you know, on
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
but it was the absolute best decision of my life. That,
So when you were talking about the workshop or the ceremony that
yeah.
people are booked on, had that happened by that point, or what you know, when were they booking on for
Yeah,
that
yeah.
ceremony?
That was that ceremony. Well, it was then called a workshop. I didn't know it was a ceremony at
Yeah.
that point. So I'd got a workshop, and it was all I put it out there before Christmas, and it was set to happen about January the 20th or something, the
Okay.
third week in
Yeah.
January.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had the experience as I was preparing that about 2 weeks before it.
Mm.
And then we had the workshop
Okay.
with the cacao
The cacao.
that I had, yeah, in my cupboard. And it was a definite yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So, and then we decided about the import, or I was, if I say pushed, it was pushed in a good way. Um, and that there was a lot of, oh, I can't, you know, there was so much to that,
Mm.
doing that on many different levels as well.
Yeah.
Um, so that research and looking at everything you had to learn about. I mean, you had to do things like if you're going to sell it, it's not just like giving a bit to your friends,
Mm.
nutritional labels and food hygiene. There was all that and
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
all that
Yeah.
side of it. And then,
Yeah.
so that was always going to take a few months.
Mm. Yeah.
And
So,
then,
so when you're talking about cacao, obviously, I know you have the ceremonial cacao,
yeah,
which I bought from you as well, and but you can go down supermarket aisles and see cacao. Is there a difference?
massive,
Okay, so what's
massive.
the difference between the two?
The main one, if I keep it very simple, is they take the butter out of what you see on the supermarket shelves. They take the butter out.
Right. Is that cacao butter? Is it?
Yes.
Yes. Right. Okay.
Now, the butter is where all the magic happens. It's crazy because
Yeah.
that's where you get all your feel good mental health hormones.
Right.
That's all,
Yeah.
that's the high levels of antioxidants, the flavonols there. That's everything in that butter. So you only get a percentage.
Right.
And
Okay.
it's you
Okay.
know,
So why do you think they take the butter out then? Do
I
they think
don't.
it's like fat, or do they think it's
Yeah, 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 yeah. If you looked at my nutritional label at fat, and there's that, but that fat content is a lot higher.
yeah?
But it doesn't make you fat. It's good
No,
stuff.
it's good fat.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But and
Yeah.
also, if you buy the pure ceremonial cacao, like this is a big one as well. It's strange colorings in it, and it can have a bit of strange texture. Like it'll kind of get it might sometimes be a bit crumbly inside. It might get sometimes like a little white layer on the top of the oil.
Yeah.
So it looks it's they take and that's all to do with the butter as well. So they take the butter out so you don't get any of that. It just looks. It
Yeah.
can look nicer,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. I mean, I've had cacao before. Obviously I've had the supermarket stuff that I'd stick in my smoothies. And then I think I sent for some to do a little bit of a ceremony for myself. And when I was drinking, I was like, that's not very nice. And then when I got yours, obviously I've been on the one of your, well, a couple of your ceremonies, and I was drinking, and it just tastes so nice. And I actually, because some, you can obviously put different things in it, like cinnamon and all that. I actually prefer it just on its own with
Wow.
nothing
Wow.
else in it.
Wow, I'm mega impressed. Yeah.
Yeah, just on
Yeah.
its own with I tend to have it like with almond milk or something, but with that,
Yeah.
just nothing else. Tastes amazing. I just love it. The little heart ones that I used to get and the powder, it's just fabulous. I love it.
Well, we have people who test for the highest quality beans,
Mm,
is one thing. Um, Also, I don't know what it is, but it's the reason why we have put ourselves through hell when it comes to the Brexit. We could make life easier, we could make
mm,
it cheaper, but I, I know my responsibility to cacao, and I know from working with the Mayans as well, their top priority, and I have a responsibility to that as
mm.
well,
Yeah,
even though I don't get their cacao.
yeah,
And that is too, you can't go cheap. Well, you can, but you can't as a medicine carrier. And this one has a quality that gives it a smoothness.
yeah. That's what I could. That's
And
what
that's why
I felt. Yeah,
that is the
yeah,
thing why I'm not prepared to make it easier, because I want that smooth thing,
yeah, yeah,
because it's the thing that everyone comments on,
yeah.
and it's the
That's it
ones
for
that,
me. Yeah, absolutely.
other people get it off me who run their own retreats,
Mm,
and do their own spiritual works in various ways, and they know their stuff when it comes to cacao because they've been using it for years.
mm.
And a few of them have said it as well. And it's said in different ways, but it's always the same thing. And
Mm,
it's always that smooth thing. And they say that it helps open the heart chakra much easier,
mm.
which I was like, wow, because I didn't know that, because I learned from others,
Of
I
course.
learned from the people who have it from
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. So let's just talk a little bit about the healing and the
Mm.
spiritual properties and benefits of cacao.
Well, really wouldn't know quite where to start with, because that's a massive question.
Just
It's a
have a
heart-opening
yeah,
medicine. It's
yeah.
a heart-opening medicine. So when you drink cacao, you'll feel that this is on the spiritual level. It nourishes
Mm,
your spiritual body. You'll feel that you will start to relax. Your heart will start to open. And in that way, you are more likely, you finding solutions to problems is so much easier
yeah.
after a cup of cacao. That's for sure. You can, it connects you when you drink it. You have to drink it in a sacred way for that, though. you know it connects you to all that is, all the
Mm.
create energies in creation, to nature, to the cosmos, so you are open for so much in that.
So when you say you've got to drink it in a sacred way, what do you mean by that?
Okay, well, simple. You can go full on ceremony like we do, but I don't do that every day. I
No.
have it every day. I don't do that
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
Three things which you can do like in less than a minute, but mean it as you
Mm,
do it. Before you drink it yourself, you offer it to the heart of the sky, the heart of the earth. You give thanks for the sacred cacao. If you can, like just think about where it came from.
mm.
And then you offer it to your own heart, then consume it. But you offer it
Okay.
to the
Yeah.
cosmos. That's a simple way
Okay.
without knowing about all
Yeah.
the farming and
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
you know. So, but that is enough. And also, just put it to your heart and feel gratitude for what it's bringing you, because you're actually drinking a sacred medicine. It is one of the two highest antioxidant foods on the planet.
Mm.
And what that offers you is, health like on another level,
Yeah.
basically. And it will meet you where you're at, whatever you're needing. Put that intention in the cacao. I always like 3 little blows. Like I've got my cup here, like, 3 little. My intention is, I need
Okay.
this.
I like that. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, and be with that blow. Really send it to the
Yeah.
cacao.
Yeah.
That will make a difference. And maybe that day you are needing help with something you're feeling.
Mm.
Maybe you are in confusion about something that's happening in your life. I need clarity on this, or can you help me with this feeling? Maybe it's a body problem, you know. I mean, you've got a double whammy if it's something like um, low energy
Sure. Yeah.
because of everything that's in it physically, the
To
way
make
it
sure.
works with
Yeah.
the mitochondria in your cells. It's like a
Yeah.
runner's high. And there's the other molecule to be aware of that's in cacao. There's basically 3. Well, there's so many, but one is the anandamide. Anandamide is a molecule that's known as uh, the bliss molecule or the bliss hormone, because that's how it makes you feel, and it's got so much in it. It's the pure cacao, so that explains also how you can open your heart with it. So, um, oxytocin, the love bonding hormone as well. So that explains the loving feelings and the energies around the heart also. Um, and I never know how to say it. Tritopian. I know what it is. It took me ages to say reciprocity, and this is when I can't say it. Tritopian.
Utopia.
That's it, yeah. Yeah. Which the body can't produce, you have to get it from food.
Okay.
Huge on that. And that's the thing that activates all the feel good chemicals in the brain, your serotonin,
Okay.
the dopamine,
Yeah.
all that.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it's activated. Um, so you've got all the heart, loving stuff, you've got all the good mental stuff. And then the way it works with your cells in the mitochondria of the cells, that's the theobromine, which is cacao is, if it's famous for anything, it'd be the
Yeah.
theobromine.
Yeah.
Food of the gods, it's known as. That's why it's known as food of the gods, because the
Okay.
levels of the theobromine,
I
which
love
goes
that.
way back
Oh my gods.
to the ancients.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's that's gold, is the theobromine. That's your natural stimulant
Yeah.
that improves your focus. And it's almost like they call it the runner's high. It's a little bit like that. How you feel if you've had a really good workout, it can give you that, and it gives you energy as well. So
Mm.
if you use it for your exercise or
Yeah.
your brain focus,
Wow.
it's
It's
never
amazing. Yeah.
ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Fantastic. So let's just talk a little bit about the shamanic path that you went on, because obviously that's linked very much to the spiritual awakening that you had with the cacao.
yeah, I didn't know that I was going to go there either. It's absolutely still mind blowing to me to sat here to this day that I have been into wonderful spiritual things since I was 19 years old,
Yeah.
you know, and I've done so much different things, all really relevant. I don't follow anybody's path, you know,
Sure.
yeah. And then but I got to at that age. How old was I when this all happened? Oh, I was about 49, actually, 49. And I never knew I was like this when I found home. This really does feel like home for me, is the shamanic path.
Yeah.
Um, and I may define that different to other people. That's, but it's a path of nature. And
Okay.
it's so great, that for me, because it's here with us. So I find that a lot easier to work with spiritually because it's there in front of us, all around us, all the time.
So are you classed as a shaman?
Who says? Who defines that?
I didn't know whether it
I've
had
had
some training or
Yeah, but
ways.
I'm really about putting any labels on myself.
Yeah, totally get that.
So that's why I say ceremonialist, because it's my own
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
But there are people who say I'm a shaman. I don't actually know.
Okay. Yeah.
But yes, I have learned a lot of the traditions, if you like, and I guess there are different forms of it as well. You know, um, my partner doesn't think I'm a shaman
Right.
because I mean, you know, I'm not hardcore enough, I don't think. Yeah, but like, um, but
I don't think
he
you have to be
said
hardcore to
no,
be a
but the sort of
shaman.
stuff he does, my God, no. But he says I won't call you a shaman from that. That's because he knows a different form.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
says, but I've heard what goes on in your ceremonies. He says, and I never can take that away. It's tremendous. He
Mm.
said, "You're an alchemist, I think."
Yeah.
So whatever you want to call
Yeah.
me, whatever you want
Yeah.
me to be, I
Yeah.
am. So
Yeah.
long as you don't call me a guru,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
you know, then I can be
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. So have you been to where you import the cacao from?
No.
Oh. And where does it come from?
Well, it came from Peru. Now it's coming from a few different parts. It depends where the highest quality bean is.
Okay.
And that year, Peru had a bad year with that. Um, so right now it's part Peruvian, and there's some from the Dominican Republic
Oh
where
wow.
they found the highest quality bean there.
Wow. Okay.
Um,
Didn't you say, now have I just made this up, that something about isn't there always jade where the cacao is? Is
Sacred,
that
yeah, yeah.
right? So there's usually a jade,
Often jade, yeah, yeah.
yeah, near where
Jade ash from the
right.
volcanoes,
Okay.
often found.
Yeah.
Um, and this is from the Mayans. You see, bear in mind, when I learned all this, we were mainly in lockdown.
Yeah.
So I was in Peru, I was in Guatemala, but every afternoon, but it was via Zoom,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
This and that is one great thing about lockdown because those people wouldn't have, I don't think they'd have come out like this.
No.
No, it was all that
Certainly
fairly
had
hidden.
its benefits as well
Yeah,
as
yeah,
downside of it.
yeah.
We've all had
Um,
experiences with that.
yeah, the jade ash. Jade and cacao very closely connected.
Yeah.
They say the jade empowers the cacao tree to grow.
Yes, that's what I
Um,
was saying.
so that's why I always have, and you'll always see what that the jade. I have a lot of jade is always on my cacao.
Mm.
Like when it's in storage, it's covered in jade.
Yeah. Yeah. Abundance stone, jade.
Is it? I didn't know that, but
Yeah,
yeah,
oh yeah.
that makes sense because
Jade
cacao
is
is, yeah,
abundance, prosperity. It's very much a wealth
yeah,
stone,
yeah.
money.
Okay.
So that's that's a great stone for cacao.
I mean, it goes so deep and so spiritual and so trippy
Yeah.
as well, like when you really get into it. And I don't even know uh,
Yeah.
I all of it, and I never will.
Yeah.
And even the mainstay, they
Yeah.
don't, they won't.
So let's talk a little bit about the ceremonies that you do. So I came to my first one last year, and it's nearly a year ago. It was April, and I didn't
Yeah, because we're doing that again. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize how long ago it was until you shared the post on Facebook, and I was like, oh wow, because that was a profound experience for me. I mean, I got lost on the way there, and I ended up driving past where my auntie, who was like a mom to me, so I was feeling quite emotional because I was driving past where she used to live. So when I got there, I was, I think I literally, you sort of started, and we were drinking, and
Can I just stop you there as well a sec? Do I remember rightly? You tried not to
yes,
come the
that's
day
exactly,
before.
yes, and that's actually that's
And I said,
that's
no,
an amazing thing, because I was having
you felt cross with me, didn't you? I think
I did. I'd had workmen in all week because I was having a new bathroom. So all week they've been banging and clattering, and my head was, oh, it was just, and there was so many issues with it as well. And I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. So I messaged you the night before, Jayne, is there any chance that I could like defer? And what I really loved about it, you just stood in your power, and you were like, just let's wait until tomorrow. And I think it was along that, let's wait until tomorrow and see how you feel then. And if you still
so
it
I
was
said,
something along you said something like, you need to come,
yeah,
let's see how you are tomorrow. And I read it and I was like, whoa, where is the empathy, where is the sympathy here? I don't want to come, it's blah blah. And then I woke up that morning and I felt completely different, and
if I would have said to you, oh, okay, don't worry about it, I'll defer you, you wouldn't have come then.
I wouldn't.
And I know what happens before ceremony, and it happens to me before some of my things. This is really common, and it's really worth being aware of. When you are going to make a shift of some kind, everything will try and stop you, especially your own ego.
Oh, absolutely.
Your own ego will come into play, because the job of the ego is to keep you safe, comfortable, and small.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's what he was trying to do. Yeah. So that day,
I
for me,
saw it.
so it was the white flower
circle,
circle. And I remember I so obviously I'm known as Jackie, but my real name is Jacqueline, and we had to say our name, I think, 3 times.
Yes, you do.
Before we went in, and I called myself Jacqueline, which it's strange, because I was reading something about numerology, and it was saying that if you've got a nickname, what you tend to find is when you get more into your spiritual awakening and more into your true purpose, you use your original name. And I didn't know that. And obviously I'd used Jacqueline, and it felt right. It felt right when I said it. But I remember just walking into that circle, and obviously I've got my eyes closed, but I know that my arms were doing lots of things, and I could feel the drumming and the vibrations and everything that was, and it felt just so powerful, really powerful.
People are always surprised. But that again is what I learned from the shamans, and I have activated those flowers in a specific way for
I mean, I literally was crying, I think, through the whole ceremony. As soon as I remember, I was drinking the cacao, and you basically got the drum. I think you did one beat of the drum, and that was it. I felt the beat of my drum sort of vibrate through my whole body, and then that was it. I was in floods of tears throughout the whole thing, but it was amazing.
I know. I mean, you just see people totally change when they step in. Totally change. It's an amazing thing to watch. Amazing.
So when's your next one? That's in...
That one is, again, it's April. It's the 1st of April. It's like 2 weeks. What a day this time. April Fool's Day, but there'll be a reason. And it's Saturday morning.
It's Saturday morning. I will probably go, and in fact, I might get you to just send me the link again for that.
I will, yes.
There was something else I was thinking of doing on that day.
There's a few people saying that it's really
something. It's interesting. And then I thought yours was the same day, but actually, even just thinking about the experience that I had last year, I think it would be good for me to come along to that. So,
and each time, it evolves. It will have evolved. You're never going to get the same experience. Now, what sometimes happens is I've seen a few people come to ceremonies over time, and they've had the most profound experience of their life and walked out a different person. I've never ever seen them again, and that's great. They've got
Yeah,
what they needed. That's it.
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and I'm sure there are others, I don't know,
yeah.
but there must be people who've come and not liked it. I don't know. I've not heard, but like, I don't know. But I've seen that, and that's always good to see. Because many people, will probably do this in one way or another, um, can go more down the spiritual route when we're feeling crap and when we're
Yes,
feeling not right.
absolutely, yeah.
I mean, I probably engage more in that to make myself
Mm,
right.
mm,
But mine is a continuous journey. This is my life path for me,
yeah.
but there are people who just come and go. They're like, "Oh, I'm all right
Of
now and then,
course. Yeah, yeah.
so yeah,
And
but
then
we
and then you've also
enforce,
got people that come to all of them.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's people who come a lot. And I saw this with someone last time. I knew I weren't going to see her for a long time
Mm,
because I'd watched her journey and I just knew in my gut she was now on the edge of that cliff where you jump and you ride the wave and you boom. And I was like really wanting to open that circle for her to do that
yeah,
because I knew it, and she did.
yeah.
And yeah, of course, then you don't have the same urge to go all the time,
Oh, of course not. Yeah,
maybe. But then I've seen her again, but not for a good few. And then I saw her again, which
yeah,
is great,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Um,
Okay. Amazing. Amazing. Well, I've absolutely loved talking to you about this, and we could, we
oh,
could
and
talk
you, yeah, it's
all
been
all
lovely
day, all night
all
about it.
day. Yeah.
So can you just, obviously people are wanting to get in contact with you, I want to know more about
hmm
maybe some of the ceremonies. Are all the ceremonies in person, or because obviously not everybody watching this is going to be having access to come to Sheffield. Do you do anything
Do
via
you know, I
Zoom
can do
or?
them online, and the first white flower ceremony I did was online because we were in lockdown then.
Yeah,
Um, I just don't tend to do it, but if there is a need for it,
you'll
if
do it.
people ask me, I
Okay.
definitely will.
Okay. So how can
Because
people get in contact with you then? What's the best way?
best way, let me think, is I would say Facebook or Instagram,
Okay.
um, is one way.
Yeah. And is that under your just Jayne Spenceley, or is it because you've got a Facebook page?
I would go to, if anybody is interested, they are interested in the cacao rather than
Yeah.
me. So I would say go to 괱ᴜ Cacao, Facebook and Instagram. The ceremonies I always share there.
Okay.
There's a shop. One good way is if you go to 괱ᴜcacao.com, there's some free gifts, cacao free
Yeah.
gift.
Okay.
So you get like about 3 videos, and one is I talk about it using it as medicine, food medicine on one. The
Mm.
second one, I do a home ceremony with you, so you can do your own at home.
Okay.
And then the third video is a meditation to receive. And you can
Wow.
get that for
Yeah.
free, and that will put you on the email list as well.
Yeah.
And then you'll find out everything
And
because I
everything
do
probably goes on.
newsletters, give you recipes, give
Yeah.
you, whatever's going on, what
Okay.
the best way to use
Brilliant.
cacao.
Okay. Well, I'll put the links underneath the video so people can find that. But you've
Yeah.
also got a page as well, haven't you? Is it Jayne Spenceley Wellbeing?
Yes, I've got that as well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I tend to post more about cacao on this 괱ᴜ Cacao.
Okay.
But yeah, there's that as well, whatever.
Yeah. Oh well, it's been wonderful.
Oh,
And
it has.
if anybody's got any questions that they want to put below the video, please do give us a like, subscribe, and please obviously get in contact with Jayne as well. And I'm going to wish you a wonderful afternoon and evening, and hopefully I will see you on the 1st of April as well for the next And what's the one? Do you have one planned after that, the 1st of April?
No, not yet, because I've got a weird idea for the next one, and it's taking a bit of time to see if it comes
Okay.
together. And I don't know, but I think then we'll do a day one.
Oh, yeah, that'll
Yeah,
be
day
good.
one again, and then I
Wow.
always do the stone circle one
Okay.
sometime.
Right. Amazing. Okay.
All
Well,
right
it's
then.
been fabulous. Thank you so much, Jayne.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Speak to you very soon.
All right. Lots of love.
Bye.
Bye.